What's going on, y'all? So, just got back. Hold on. Yeah, alright. Just got back from seeing Dragon Ball Super Hero. And it's good. It's good. Got some problems, but we about to get into that. But before I give you the synopsis, what you have to expect this movie is right off the bat. We're gonna get this out the way before we deep dive into this review. This is definitely, definitely, from what you see in the trailers and probably heard from articles and stuff, this is definitely a Gohan and Piccolo movie. The reason why I say this because the way how the movie is structured, the main protagonist of this movie is Gohan and Piccolo, and the main antagonists are, of course, the returning or trying to return Red Ribbon Army. So, and also, what else to expect for this movie is when it comes to Goku, Vegeta, and even Broly and Whis and Beerus and all and gang, when it comes to their parts of the movie, it's a combination. This movie is like a combination of when it comes to their appearance, Bio Broly and Broly's Second Coming, where basically Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, Whis, and Broly and everybody that's on Beerus' planet, their roles are like Goku from Broly's Second Coming, but it's also like it's almost like Goku's appearance in Bio Broly. And what I mean by that is they got their appearances is like Broly's Second Coming, where Goku was in Broly's Second Coming, but he was only in so many scenes. But when Goku's appearance in Bio Broly, pertains to everybody in this movie, is that for the most part, when it comes to Goku, Vegeta, and them, it's like Bio Broly because they have no bearing on the main story. The only difference between Bio Broly and this movie is that Goku became aware of the situation when he finally did show up in Bio Broly. He was aware of the situation and what happened. But in this movie, there's that's how their appearances are. So with that being said, let me give you the synopsis. There, we're gonna deep dive into this real quick, like. The Red Ribbon Army was once destroyed by Son Goku. Individuals who carry on its spirit had created the ultimate androids, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. However, those two androids called themselves superheroes and started attacking Piccolo and Gohan. So, this movie is directly fan service. If you love Dragon Ball and then the Android Saga with the return of the Red Ribbon Army from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z and the Android Saga, this is Toriyama and a letter to you saying thank you for being a fan of that story, because this is definitely inspired. This is definitely it was so many callbacks. It's so many callbacks to the Android Saga. Most the Dragon Ball callbacks are mostly just when the narrator talks about gets you up to speed. For those who haven't lived long enough to see Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball for that matter, I should say. Take that what you would. That's a little spoiler because that's a line that's actually said in the movie, but I just said it in the reverse way. Whereas I'm telling you, the viewers who haven't seen it, this particular part where I pulled this line from, it catches you up to speed about the Red Ribbon Army and the androids, and that's like pretty much the only part of the movie that calls back to Dragon Ball. Everything else, all the other callbacks are the Android sagas um, the Android Saga and the Cell, the Imperfect Cell, and the Cell games. All those sagas put together make the majority of the callbacks. While there is a callback, are several callbacks to Dragon Ball. I think there's one of them. One would be with Piccolo, but there are some about Goku obviously and stuff. But yeah, this is a big fan love letter of the Android Saga, where you can see as the resurrection of F being a fan love letter to the people who enjoyed the Frieza Saga and everything that went into the Frieza Saga. This was the same thing, but it was a missed opportunity, and that missed opportunity that I referred to is one of my negatives, but. Let me continue. What else I can say about it? As you know, there are 2 new transformations for Piccolo and Gohan. Those transformations are cool. I love both Piccolo and Gohan's transformation. I love that dynamic with Piccolo and Gohan. One of my favorite when it comes to their dynamic and their relationship. One of my favorite scenes was where a character said the word grandpa pertaining to a situation, and Piccolo like, huh, what? Like he got offended, because he thought grandpa referred to, and he was like, oh right, never mind. He was like, oh right, you're Goku, he tried to fix it. So it's like, and I was just sitting there like, you know what? It might make me seem soft, but I was like, oh, my boy Piccolo sees himself as Gohan's father, and it was like, you know what? I like that, Toriyama. I like that you actually written that into your script for this movie that Piccolo actually sees himself as Gohan's father. And it shows, it shows the level of relationship Goku that Gohan has with Piccolo, and how Piccolo truly was changed by Gohan's friendship, by just being there for Gohan, at first using Gohan as a weapon to defeat the Saiyans, and then you saw how that relationship with Gohan slowly transformed Piccolo, and it echoes what we know and what we heard, how King Kai and all of them said that Piccolo's heart was changed by Goku and Gohan, but it was really changed by Gohan. And you see that, in this movie, he emphasized that. You see that, and you had no choice but to go, you know what? It's well deserved too, because who are we kidding? It's like Gohan got 2 fathers here. He does. We're not trying to take anything away from Goku, but come on, Piccolo earned the right to feel like he's Gohan's father at this point. But yeah, the movie was good. It was good. Gohan's transformation was awesome. And that itself, when he transforms, that's a callback to the Cell games. And I was just like, ooh. When it happened, I was like, I had to say, oh. I said, oh. And somebody in the theater was like, right. We know what that means. Gohan and snapped again. And I was just like, and then the visuals for his new transformation, when you see it in action and the actual movie itself, you're like, I see what they did. And in the certain shots, he looked like he's Teen Gohan again. I'm like, you know what? It kind of makes sense why they used this animation, because they was able in different shots make Gohan look like he's Teen Gohan. And you know what? The weird thing is too, I did not want to forget this. The weird thing is, they actually gave you an explanation in part of just in the movie. It was probably like a happy coincidence, but they gave you an explanation on saying growth. Basically, there was a situation where Piccolo hadn't seen 2 particular people, and he was like, I know it haven't been that long since I've seen them, but geez, like, they got big, and we actually got an explanation to why only, if you ever notice, it looked like only little time has passed, but certain children have now just all of a sudden become like almost adults out of nowhere, and Gohan is the person who actually gives this explanation. I won't tell you what the explanation is, but he does give an explanation onto why it happens like that. And I was just like, you know what? That was a satisfying actually explanation. It was out of nowhere, but then I was just like, it's actually satisfying because I did not realize that was a question I always wondered. Like once he explained it, I was just like, huh. That is actually a question that I never until now that hearing his explanation, I didn't realize that was a question that actually needed answered. And I was like, I really did need that answer. But with all that being said, the movie is good. The fight scenes, everything, the story. But as much as I want to tell you guys, this movie's a 10 out of 10, big ups. This is the segue into what I didn't like about the movie. And the first one is something I've been saying in my actual trailers, reactions for it. I am not a fan of the animation, though. I know I just said I understood why they used it for certain shots, and certain shots it did work, but as a whole, it did not grow on me. I tolerated it, and I got through it because the story and the action, what was going on, was good enough for me to forget about it. But when and thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I did not enjoy the animation. So the animation was a negative for me. And my last negative is only two. My last negative is the final villain. And it's not for what you think. For those who know who the final villain is, my negative about the villain is not that good. It worked perfectly for getting Gohan to transform. It was poetic that it was this villain who got Gohan to transform into a new transformation. So, that's not the problem. The problem with this villain was that it was a missed opportunity. Remember I said about the missed opportunity? The missed opportunity was that this villain, the main villain of the movie, or the final person that they had to fight, is not the original villain. It's a copy. That's also another reason why I brought Bio Brawly into this, because remember Bio Brawly, where the Brawly and Bio Brawly was in the real Brawly. The real Brawly was dead and in hell, and Bio Brawly, he was just a clone. Well, that's the route they went with, and I was like, I hate that they did that. They went with the route of this villain not being the real villain, but a clone or a remake of that villain, as you will. Pick either one. But it both describes this villain. Either he's a clone / remake. And the villain was underwhelming, and that is a disservice to this villain. That is a real disservice, because this villain deserved, just like Frieza, this villain deserves deserved it. This was the perfect time. If you was going to make a movie about Gohan and he had to fight the Red Ribbon Army, what better movie to bring this villain back like you did Frieza? But you missed that opportunity, and the reason why this is a negative, because it made Gohan's transformation into this new form, into Final Gohan. I think, yeah, that's why I hear it's called Final Gohan. And made the transformation into that just a little less impactful, because it missed the emotional connection. If you remember, that's the whole thing. That's in my top 4 of people, of my favorite villains. You got Frieza, Cell, Garlic Jr., and Majin Buu. And the reason why I put Garlic Jr. over Majin Buu is that all the top 3s I just said, Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu, have an emotional connection to the heroes. Whereas Majin Buu was just an inherent villain of the Kais. But I don't want to deep dive into it because I could go on and on why I say that. But just say, even though Majin Buu, yes, is technically the second person to blow up, the first person to blow up Earth and kill everybody on Earth, the second being Frieza. He just didn't do it for me emotionally because I was invested into Frieza. I'm invested in the Cell and to an extent Goddard Jr. because he had an emotional connection to Piccolo. Even though it wasn't like Goku or Vegeta, it was still Piccolo and then bipartisan the other people. But yeah, it was a missed opportunity because the villain. The last thing I was telling about is that he was one-dimensional. He was very one-dimensional, and the sad part about it, for the English version with the English voice actors, they actually, you can hear it, they actually got the voice actor for this particular villain, particular form. But his only thing to do was to roar. I'm like, that was just a waste opportunity. But enough is enough. I gave you my review. What do I give the movie? 8 out of 10. Big ups. The movie is still good. It is still worth going to see. If you love Dragon Ball Z and you're a Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT, which version ever you are a fan of, you will enjoy this movie. If you were a fan of Piccolo and Gohan, you will enjoy this movie. There is a post-credit scene, and you need to stay for it because Toriyama finally gave somebody their right. He finally gave this character due justice, and this character could finally say, even though it's you two, or how many times you beat me, finally, this character got his justice. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. And if you enjoyed the video so much and want to support the channel, you hit those buttons. Also, let me know in the comments down below without spoiling the movie what you thought of the movie. And if any one of the videos for more of my amazing content, SmackDown's coming up next along with gameplay. So, peace out.